Good afternoon. Welcome back for another lovely small business session today on compare and choose online course platforms. The basic, better, best of online course hosting. And yes, I did steal that from Antiques Roadshow. Love it. So the idea here today, what we're doing is we're going to be looking at a few different platforms, depending on sort of, what kind of functionalities they offer, and really understanding like what kind of course we're building. So it is very much a case of, there's no one size fits all. There's a couple of platforms that actually come quite close to that, which I might encourage you to use. But suffice to say, you're probably building your course for different purposes, and therefore different platform or hosting structure will be required for that. So let's get started. Let's have a look through. Let's whiz through this, and just a reminder, if you have any questions, please put it in the Q&A because you won't be able to show your video or microphone today. So before we get started, just to remind you that this webinar is part of an actual program that is subsidised by the Australian Government called Digital Solutions. Now, Digital Solutions is a great subsidised program that you only pay $44, and you get access to 3 one-to-one advisory sessions to go through things like your social media and digital marketing strategy, online security, websites. Have I set up a website? How do I set up a website? How do I get it on Google and searched and all that kind of stuff? Like, what kind of bookkeeping software should I use? All those kind of digital tools that some of you potentially just take for granted in your business, but other people, you might be like, I've never heard of that before, and how do I try it? So online course platforms are obviously one of those tools, specifically for businesses that are looking to create some sort of online knowledge sharing structure for your business, whether it's paid or free. How do you know if you're eligible for this Digital Solutions program? So you need to be a small business, so less than 20 million turnover, less than 20 full-time equivalent employees. You need to be trying to make, even if you're not making a profit, you need to be a for-profit business, like a commercial venture. Although I will say we have some limited allocation for not-for-profits. So if you are a not-for-profit, like a charity or a support organisation or something like that, please get in contact with me, and we can talk through whether you are eligible, some additional criteria. And of course, for us at Business Station, the wonderful Business Station, we only are able to serve you if your ABN is registered in Western Australia or Queensland or Northern Territory. If you are outside that jurisdiction, please just email me anyway, and I can refer you on to the correct provider. And to get started, all you need to do is put in that link, which is businessstation.link/Rhonwyn, spelled RHONWYN. And what that'll do is it'll register you and pre-fill for me to be your first session advisor. And otherwise you can just do /register and still get you in the program. So why would you choose me? You don't have to choose me. Only choose me if you feel that I'm suitable for you. This is how this works. My name is Rhonwyn Lerner. I am a trainer by trade. I've been doing workshops in many different forms since, can I just say, a long time? I don't want to say just how old I am. I'm not a grandmother yet, but let's just say they're grown up. So when in my experience, I've worked with startups for about 15 years, and honestly, that probably shows that's about as long as I've been doing workshops anyway. So I've been doing this a long time. I am a trained trainer to deliver certificate, diploma, advanced diploma up to kind of university level, and I have been doing that for several years as well. So I do accredited training, but I also do non-accredited training, and I also do online courses in my own businesses, and I do run my own businesses. So I absolutely know exactly what you're going through right now, and the challenges that brings, even just for time management and when do I get all this stuff done. So if you would like to have a conversation with me, or if you have any questions after this session, so if you're watching back the recording, or if it's later this afternoon, you think I should have asked that, please jump on your email and email me at ronwyn@businessstation.com.au, and I'll absolutely answer your question, not a problem. So let's get started. Now, I haven't got a slide to show this, as I sometimes do, but, if we were in a regular setting, we'd obviously be having a little side chit chat of, oh, who are you? What's your name? What do you do? The kind of conversation we have in like a, face-to-face environment. So if you would like to share in the chat today, if you're on the live presentation, if you'd like to share in the chat, or even on on YouTube really, who you are, what you do, and why you're looking at online courses, I welcome you to do that, and I'm happy to give you a shout out. But let's get stuck. While you do that, let's just get stuck into it. So, what is an online course? If you're watching this, you've probably got a bit of an inclination of what this is, but I want to really impress on you that there's different kinds of online courses, and there's a small chance you may have only been exposed to one or two different kinds. Now, I know I probably covered this in a workshop I did a couple of weeks ago on how to plan out and build an online course. So some of that may be repeated here, and I apologize for that if you did see that already, but I kind of have to set the scene, right? So you kind of got to know what kind of course you're doing to figure out what kind of platform you need. So I kind of need to go through this again. So the very, very basic type of course you can create or do is what we call like a live course delivered virtually. So when COVID hit, for instance, I was delivering leadership management courses, and we suddenly, we turned up one day and it's like, here's your camera, here's your microphone, you are now on Zoom, and all your students are at home, and you're delivering from here. So, I will say this, that COVID, for what it's worth, has obviously, in terms of business, has pushed us forward about 5 years worth of digital transformation in a squeezy little 1 to 2 year period, right? So many businesses were kind of like, I'm thinking about making it a hybrid course or online or, more accessible or whatever. It's on the to-do list or it's in the plan. And when COVID hit, we all went, oh, and the plan is today. So it's good to know that if you are doing training already, delivering just having the virtual version like we're doing today, it opens it up in a couple of different ways. So one thing I did notice when we went to online was it wasn't just that people who are coming to the live sessions could continue to access it. What I also observed in networking and any kind of live settings that suddenly went online was there was this whole other band of customers and audience that started to engage when we went online. So there's a whole raft of people out there who, like yourself, possibly are really busy and are constantly working full time and looking at stuff and studying after hours or doing stuff after hours. And then you have other people who, are just like, how do you say, like they've got kids or they're caring or they're doing other things that kind of, or just in terms of accessibility and getting around, it's just kind of a bit more challenge to get to a live, workshop setting. So I really did open it up. So basically what I'm saying is whatever course you want to do in a live setting, you can basically just throw it onto Zoom and you've got a live course. That's very, very basic. The next type, which is a very, very basic type of course, is what we call a pre-recorded content delivered in sequence. So you don't even need a platform for this. You literally could just get an email program and put it in a sequence where it's like, okay, day 1, they get this email with this activity attached. Day 2, they get this email with this activity attached. Or even you could do an email with a video embedded. So it shows a video and they click in it and it plays the video for them straight from the email or from YouTube or whatever you set up. You could do, you could throw it into Webinar Jam or Webinar Ninja. And these are webinar programs that allow you to play back a pre-recorded webinar as if it were live. So I'm going to say that again. Pre-recorded webinar as if it were live. So basically they replicate the chat. They, everything looks like you are live, but when people put a question in the chat, it adds to the chat, but you obviously are not answering it back specifically. So there's some goods and bads about that. Usually that kind of, evergreen looping kind of, schedule, but you're not there kind of webinars are more for attraction and converting into sales, not usually for course, but you could use it as a course. When we get into online course platforms, this kind of evergreen content really is the starting point or the basic level of course creation as well. The idea being that the usual standard is I record a video telling you about something, and then you'll either it's just videos in sequence and you've paid a fee to see that, which is fine. Or free if it's really a secondary notion to your business. You're just trying to get your clients off your back calling you and asking the same questions all the time. But it's just videos in sequence or text in, hosted on a platform as a, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's the series of things you're going to watch and learn. You can also put in some templates or activities. But what it's not got is it's not got quizzes and assessments and any of the other function, right? So take a drink. So beyond that, a more advanced online platform will have modules and lessons, so that maybe you're delivering a lot more content or a lot more complicated content, and you're going to use that to you're going to use that to break down a bit what you're teaching them. So it's like, okay, module 1, we're going to learn email marketing. And the lessons within that module are sharing with you, how to set up the email, how to draft an email, how to script the email. What do you do with the metrics? You know what I mean? So there might be some steps towards completing that thing, whatever it is. So that would be a module with multiple lessons. Now, the more advanced part beyond this is that module lesson format, but you also have activities and or assessments to confirm, like activities to get them to do the kinesthetic practical part of their learning, or you might have assessments where you receive that activity back and you give it some sort of recognition to confirm their learning, right? So to be clear, most platforms will do the second one here of load up a video and off you go. Many, shall I say, will do module lesson structure, because that's really why people get a learning management system, to be able to have that structure and see how students are progressing through that format you've gotten. In terms of very accessible cloud-based programs in the marketplace, not as many go to the final step of having functions for quizzes and forums and things like that. So that's kind of more the full function kind of stuff. So what's the difference between these? So where and how do we create? So in terms of course platforms, which basically means you're looking at a structure to host your videos, your audios, your documents, your activities, all that kind of stuff. You've got what we call a course platform, okay? And here are some great examples like Thinkific and Yes Course and that. They have some great easy structure, very cost effective. I think Thinkific even is free for 1 or 2, maybe 3 courses you can load up for free, I think. Yes Course is a great, I think it's Australian or New Zealand. It's very local. And again, free to create your course in Yes Course. And then you just pay when people buy your course, that sort of thing. You've also got plugins for WordPress. So if you're running a WordPress website and maybe you've been thinking about maybe making it just a membership section, you can get a membership plugin. And what a membership plugin or a membership portal does is you plug it into your WordPress or other platform, and because you can get it for Wix and a few other things. It would say, okay, this page of my website is locked and password protected, and only people who are in the list of membership for that level of membership, whatever it might be, can access this said page, okay? So you can literally just make some of your pages part of a membership lock-in, and then get people to pay or register to access that locked information. But beyond that, you would probably get like a learning management system or LMS plugin, like probably 2 of the most popular ones are LearnDash and LearnPress, which is why I put them there. I've been using LearnDash for some of mine. Very nice, very easy to use. But I haven't used LearnPress, but I often hear that to the same sort of popularity as LearnDash. They do cost. So some of these cost money. LearnDash, I think I pay $200 to $300 Australian a year to have that, I think, something like that, certainly less than 500. So again, this kind of information I'm sharing today, this is a constant review process for me, myself, in my own business, where I go, is this still the best platform for me? And when you are choosing a platform, do keep in mind that whatever you build in, don't make the rookie error of building directly into the platform, like as you write it. So you literally, make a video, put it into the platform, type your text directly into the platform, all that sort of thing. You need to make sure you have a master copy of all your course content backed up as well, outside of the platform, whatever you're using, so that if in the case, for example, maybe you lose access to your platform, your card doesn't work, you've lost your course, you're not going to spend 72 hours straight crying into red wine because you cannot access anything you've spent blood, sweat, and tears building, right? So always have a backup, always have a master copy, have a master copy, always have a backup of the master copy, so that you are agile enough to switch platforms should you ever need, and you just basically load it up into the new platform where possible. Now, beyond course platforms, what we have is an all-in-one platform. An all-in-one platform, you might have heard of Kajabi. Kajabi markets itself quite well. I'll be honest, Kajabi is not my favorite. And every time someone says, can you help me with Kajabi? I'm like, that's right, you need help with Kajabi. Stop using Kajabi. It's not the easiest platform or the cheapest. So Kajabi is very established in the space, but not one I highly recommend myself from my experience, and experience watching people use it. So an all-in-one platform, you have the LMS, but you also have the marketing platform attached. What that means is since an online course is an online product, it makes sense to market it online as well, right? So you go to where your audience is, and if your audience is accessing your stuff online, it makes sense to promote online. So what usually goes with it is some sort of sales funnel. So yes, here's a landing page, buy the product. Do you want this as well? Do you want that as well? Do you want that? Well, here's your registration, here's your access, right? It sets it in motion to get all that done. It also probably has email marketing attached. So people who potentially visit your course but don't buy it, you can have them in a group, an email contact list, to keep marketing to them. So eventually they do become a conversion and take the program. Or you might have a separate list for people who are in the program, and you might be telling them about updates, or hey, become affiliate, refer of the program and get a commission, or we've got a new course launching, or whatever it might be, right? You get the idea. Marketing usually comes into an all-in-one. So these are some great programs, the all-in-ones. Where you'll use an all-in-one is usually to the point of you don't already have that other stuff set up. So for instance, I've been trying out Systemi, Systemi.io lately. It has a course creation platform in it, but it's generally the basic kind I talked about, where you load up a video, maybe some text and links. You might be able to get a document up there, but it's certainly not going to be going through assessments and quizzes and things like that. So Systemi is kind of pitched to be this kind of, as you might be aware, online courses can be used for many different reasons. One of those is marketing. So you might have like a $50 online course. It's one module, a few lessons, takes them maybe a couple of weeks to do, and use it really as a marketing ploy. It builds your credibility. It gets them trialing your services and what you like and how you do it. And then you can progress them into your coaching program or your whatever service, financial planning or whatever it is you do. Okay. More advanced ones, I think I've got a couple of clients trying out LearnWorlds at the moment. So LearnWorlds has quite a lot of the functions you would look for if you were a registered training organization. So it's got course content hosting, it's got quizzes and other types of course functions to help you build out like a dynamic course content. It also can do assessments. It can issue certificates. I think it has a forum. I think you can deliver workshops either live or have the pre-recording. Did I say forums? I think it might have forums. So LearnWorlds is not very expensive either. and it's probably becoming one of my forerunners for people who really want quite a comprehensive online course. Other ones that are really popular is like Podia. I hear a lot of people mention Podia, which is a little bit like Kajabi, but maybe a little bit, but quite a bit cheaper, or a lot cheaper. So how much can you expect to pay for some of these? Really, you're looking at anywhere from free up to maybe $1,000 a month, really. So I've got a couple on the course platform one, the LMS side, Moodle and Canvas. So Moodle is one of the original learning management systems that hit the market as an open source program. And what open source means is they programmed the code to create the program, and then they offered it up for free. So that's why Moodle got so popular, kind of like WordPress is so popular for web developers, same deal. You can get it for free. It's open source code. You can edit it however you like, change it whatever you like to suit your needs. I am finding a lot of people getting away from Moodle now, simply because I think Moodle, like WordPress, like MailChimp, like a lot of these platforms that have been around for 10, 20 years, shall I say, I think they kind of suffer from the weight of being able to pivot and be agile. So when you have like millions of users across the world, it's not so easy to change the whole look of the program, or the layout of where you find things in the program or whatever, because you've got so many people actively using the program 24/7, right? So it's very harder to pivot and change what that program's like. So you generally find that programs that have hit the market maybe in the last 5 years have an edge on the competition, because even though some of those legacy programs are excellent, the new ones are like, right, based on the trajectory of where course creation is going, we're going to build our learning management system like this, and they can just kind of go and do it, right? There's also things called marketplaces. So marketplaces are where you've created a course, you throw it online to a sharing platform or a marketplace where literally your course and hundreds or thousands of others are all in the same place. And me as a consumer, I can jump online, I can look on the platform, and I can basically shop for an online course that I want. What I will say is a lot of these platforms are very basic level courses. They're quite often the video and a bit of backup text or guidance. I don't know that any of them really have proper like LMS functions around assessments and activities and things like that. I'm happy to be corrected. So if any of you have used any of these marketplaces like Udemy or Skillshare or Go One or whatever, I'm happy to stand corrected if you've used some of these and you know that you've done like a proper RTO style course. I'm sorry, I'm saying the word RTO, the initialism RTO. It stands for Registered Training Organisation. So in Australia, if you're course creation, it's important to know that you cannot issue something that says certificate of, diploma of. When you use those words on your certificate, like certificate 4, certificate 3, diploma, advanced diploma, the government has basically claimed these words to go with accredited, nationally accredited training in the Australian Skills Quality Authority framework, right? So, and you can get into a lot of trouble for this. So you cannot say you're issuing a diploma in social media if it is not matched to you being a registered training organisation approved to deliver an accredited, nationally recognised course as a diploma in social media, if you get what I'm saying. So most of the course creation we're talking about today is what we call non-accredited training. It's where you package your skills and knowledge into something digestible and consumable for your target audience. So it could be existing customers, or it could be people that you want to try, that want to try it. So I'm going to show you a couple of basic, better, best versions today. Now, the reason I'm not endorsing any of these programs specifically. You need to do your due diligence to check out whether any of these are suitable for your specific situation. It's the same disclaimer anybody should tell you when they're saying, just use this. Okay, so don't go log into the Systemi today just because I said, I like it, right? Go and check if it's correct here. So when we move forward, these are the ones I want to show you today. So what is a basic online course? Just like I said, these kinds of programs, Systemi, Yes Course, Mastermind. Systemi as a basic online course, it is an all-in-one platform. It's predominantly, mostly, primarily a all-in-one marketing platform. So the online course component is basic because it is used as a marketing tool, but Systemi.io is free at the entry level, and not just free for the course creation, it's free for emailing, it's free for landing pages, it's free for sales funnels, it's free for, what else is there? You have an affiliate platform. So any of you could sign up for my affiliate platform and start referring people to my online course, and you get 5%, 10%, 20%, 50%, whatever I set for you. And what an affiliate program does is it automates that process. So, you know, Jane or Jane or Deepa, they might refer someone to my course, and I say, thank you very much. Beyond that, I might say, hey, maybe I'll come back to you and give you a bit of a gift or a bonus or a free service or a free product or something to reward you and say, or just to show gratitude. And then you get further into affiliate, like paid referrals and affiliates, where you say, hey, if you would like to do this ongoing, sign up for this, and it will pay you every time that person, you know, fits all the criteria of they've bought it, they're outside the refund period, the money's in the account, all the rest. So Systemi is a good basic program. Yes Course is, like I said, a great one. How about I just show you these actually? Actually, I'll keep going. Okay, so when we're building a basic one, we're really talking videos, text, and links. So people self-manage, it's passive, it's evergreen, they follow the sequence to go through your course. I go through this in more detail in the plan and build, but just to let you know, this also is this is the most accessible. It's usually the lowest price point when you're selling a course. It also has the worst success rate for people finishing the whole thing, because when you're not there, there's no engagement. If they're just on their own esteem and motivation to finish stuff, a lot of people drop out. And it's something to consider, like, how do you manage that? Because if you have heaps of people who take the course and 5% finish it, it doesn't have a great long-term strategy for you, because people who don't finish a course, they're rarely going to rave about your course and refer other people to it, right? You really want them to finish. So usually it's evergreen content. So when I use this word evergreen, I'm really saying that you do it once, it's up there, you basically don't have to look at it again. This is the perfect kind of course creation if you're using it. If you're using your little course as a lead magnet, a marketing ploy, a customer service product, so that you can, for instance, take clients through a process that you're just constantly having to do yourself. That's a perfect example to use this kind of setup. And these are the types of content you can kind of load up, right? So you have to make a really informed decision on whether what kind of level of content you're going to have. So if you said, hey, I'm just going to do audio and maybe give them a verbal instruction for an activity. So we're doing that in a webinar series we're doing this month on digital transformation for manufacturers. We know it's going to be an audio file. So I'm very mindful that when I set an activity, I have to be able to talk it through and someone follow that verbal instruction, right? Otherwise, you've got things like polls and surveys. So for instance, even through Zoom, I could set up a poll, as in it's basically a 1-question survey, and it'll flash on your screen. It'll be like, right, tell me which kind of level of LMS are you going to use? And you put it in and I can share the results. Surveys, templates, PDF workbooks are very popular. It's also very old-fashioned to do a workbook. So just so you know, when you want people to complete your course, basic is good. Basic means that people don't have to struggle to understand what they're meant to do. There's less barriers to completing any activities. If they, people when they're being assessed, the anxiety sets in. People when the activity is really long and complicated, the procrastination sets in. People where they're having trouble just downloading stuff and accessing it because they don't have the right programs, you got another barrier to it. So keeping your course content really, really simple, just like videos and maybe cartoon explainers or slideshows, or, even just build it in Facebook and do a Facebook group and do just a live every day or every week or whatever, and then it becomes evergreen within the group and people can access it when they want. You absolutely can use Facebook group, private Facebook group, as a way to deliver a course. You can do that these days. So I'm just going to grab my intranet just somewhere here. And let's just have a look at some of these programs. So we've got Systemi.io. We've got Mastermind. So Mastermind is attached to Tony Robbins and a couple of other guys. So if you know who Tony Robbins is, they've got this online course creation group, Mastermind. And I want to say Dave Espinosa. I'm going to get that wrong. I haven't seen it in a while. Dave, Tony and Dave. And what was the third one? Yes, Force. Yeah. So let's have a quick look at these. Okay, so Systemi. So like I said, I'm currently trying out Systemi. It has these kinds of things. So it's an all-in-one, it's the online course. So we look at online course, build a course without technology. It's drag and drop. And it allows you to set modules and lessons and things like that. But again, it's just you're basically using web building tools to build out the content in your online course. I'm just starting to get to know this program myself, so I'm not going to be the absolute guru on Systemi, but I am finding it very user-friendly, easy, cheap. So I think I'm on like the $27 a month plan, which is the first level after free. And the reason I did that was because I started building my funnels and I was like, I don't have enough steps here. And that's why I think I upgraded. But everything else you can have it at the free level. Let's go. So, it combines a bunch of programs, things like that. This is a standard kind of website build. I can quickly show you features. I'm not here to sell any programs, so I want to quickly go through this. You've got the diagnostics. You can do evergreen webinars. So you can have it as, hey, every Monday lunchtime, we're doing your new lesson, but you can set it up as a pre-recorded evergreen. And that's, I think, starting at the $47 a month level from memory. You can do blogs, so you can do a proper full website in here. I'm currently rebuilding my website in here to try it out. But they call it a blog, so it took me a while to figure out. I started building a landing page. I'm like, this doesn't look right at all. Where are my menus? Because obviously I know the difference between a website and a landing page, but when I went into it, I had to go back and check the tutorials. I said, select blog to build your website. So, all these programs, they take some getting used to, but none of them are particularly hard to use. This is Mastermind. So the thing I love about Mastermind is it's got a massive following, massive marketplace, and you can build directly into Mastermind. So if you, for instance, if I had some content, if I had this content, so how to make an online course, put it up as an online course. I don't have, in my own business at this point, I don't have a full-on program about how to build an online course. There's other people who specialize in this kind of stuff. My courses are more about how to start a business, how to do profits, how to do digital tools, time management, stuff like that. But if it was content that I was like, I'm just going to throw it out there as a lead magnet stuff, and I wasn't too concerned about having master copies, because if it disappeared, I'm like, yeah, well, I think this is about $50 a month to use this platform, and literally you can record everything straight into it, and without having to make a video and then upload it. So a lot of the course creation platforms will allow you to type into it and create content like text and things like that. Most of them will ask you to pre-record your videos and then upload it. Mastermind allows you to do the video directly into the program. So this is super, super quick. You could literally build an online course in an afternoon. If it was like a simple $50 course, there's a few lessons, few videos, bit of text, you're done. Why not? Yes Course. Yes Course been around for a few years. I can't remember where it's from, but I feel like it's a localish one. They call it an academy, but you know, it is actually really easy. It's not the prettiest one I've come across, so a little feedback for you, Yes Course, but it really does do the job. And there is again a free forever level, which really is unlimited students, unlimited courses. Load up what you want, embed. You've got sales pages. It can take transactions, do subscription payments. So if you want people to be in there for a while, it can actually do quizzes and things like that. So the reason I've got it in the basic area is because it's super simple to use. It's free, and it's probably not the most aesthetic course. So it's kind of basic for what it does, but it is a very good. I think it's a reasonable program actually. So let's go back to the next bit. So if I was to, where is my mouse disappeared to? I literally can't see my mouse. There we go. It had a moment, it's back. So what is a better online course? So a better online course is what we said in basic, but you probably also have some activities. It's kind of the next level. And the reason I've got this in the next section is because we often have this as evergreen as well. And some of the programs that I'm encouraging here are the Teachable, the Thinkific, the Teachery. These ones are well regarded, widely used. They're just out of basic because they are so neat and complete, but they're teetering on the edge, to be honest. So you might find that maybe something like Podia, even though it's an all-in-one, or Zenla, or any of those, you know, they might be just the upgrade you're after to get different kinds of activities. But just to keep in mind that, you know, you have to really decide here, like, are you going to have an active or a passive course? So a passive course is really evergreen. You're kind of just throwing it up there and people buy it while you're sleeping. You know, it can be a side hustle, an extra revenue stream. I think I was talking to Paula Brand yesterday and she's like, what do they say? It's like you need 7 revenue streams to become wealthy these days. And it kind of is a bit like this. We are kind of in the side hustle, you know, gig economy where we've got a few different things going on in order to create an overall and generate an overall income stream for ourselves that's quite, comfortable. So passive courses are a great way to do that. The only thing I'll say with a passive evergreen course is be mindful of what information you share. So obviously if you share information about, oh, this is what Facebook is doing in 2022, well, as soon as you hit 2023, that course has aged and you probably aren't going to keep going with it. You have to re-record, right? Dave, the guy who runs Mastermind, I remember seeing him on a live one time. He was talking about a LinkedIn course. So LinkedIn is new. He went and checked it out very early. He basically just went all through LinkedIn and went, this is what LinkedIn is all about and how you use it. For people who are just exploring and discovering LinkedIn for the first time, and I think that's like a $50 course for him. It's been going for several years now, and it creates a tidy income for him. But obviously that program, he said, even though that program has gotten better, it's pretty much the same. Therefore, the course has remained, you know, active evergreen content. If LinkedIn changed their functionalities and layout tomorrow, that course would then become redundant, okay? Active is where you might want the live delivery. So we were talking before about active engagement with your students or your course participants. Live delivery, live accountability, Q&A sessions, coaching sessions. This is what really gets people over the line. So for example, I say we, myself, and I've invited a co-worker to come and deliver with me this term. So for the next school term, we're going to do a double your profits 8-week course. And it's a course that's already been in my business, and I've included it as a webinar in Digital Solutions just because it's great. It's a great theory. It's a great process. But you know, in order to make sure it sticks and people do it, I've gone away from passive evergreen these days, and I'm back to live cohorts. I like live. I like the interaction live. I know I'm just talking at length today. Please ask me questions as we go. Fully encouraged. I'm happy to answer. But I think we've kind of had a snapback, right? So usually things go as far as they can go, and then we have a correction. So I think the correction we're going into is really people wanting a bit more live engagement to have that motivation to complete. So some of those better courses, let's have a look. So let's go check them out. So I said Thinkific. Try not to click on the ads. I feel like it's kind of a bit rude to if you've Googled someone and then you go click on their ad where it costs you money. Okay, so you can get started for free. You can, you know, as you can see, chapter 1, so this is like a lesson or a module, and just kind of shifting the order of it, editing it. You can do live lessons, a drip schedule. So drip schedule, I'm not doing the planning at your course here, but drip schedule is where people can only access stuff when you say they can access stuff. Well, they can do assignments in here, so there you go, and certificates. So this one might have to be bumped up. I feel like it was not as comprehensive before, but maybe it was. You know, each of these have so when you're getting into the better ones, this is probably why I put it in here. When you get into the better ones, you really you kind of need to know a little bit about website design elements. So if you haven't already, I'd encourage you guys, as you're building the course, go to some of the content creation web workshops we do. Go to some of the website design workshops or website development workshops we do. So the difference between website design and website development is design is usually like, I want this color scheme, this much white space, this goes here, here, here. And development is more like okay, where are the menus? What's the functionality? You know, what platform we're using with that. So design elements for content and displaying content, it will help you create a more desirable course. And the more desirable your course is, the more you can charge for it, okay? So this is Thinkific. It has some tools that it integrates with, so it's not an all-in-one. It does when we say integrates with other programs, it basically means that 2 programs will talk to each other to do what you want them to do. So set up an email campaign or whatever. You know, and you can, you know, any LMS, learning management system, should show you who's been in there, what they've seen, what they've done. As a trainer, I love that part. Like, students used to say to me, oh, I've been in and started. And I'm like, not according to the program. According to the program, you've not been in for 2 months. I can see that. so you can kind of, you know, you can use it as a motivation tool to be like, no. I know what you're doing and what you're not doing. So Teachable is highly regarded. I do find people who are on Thinkific are like, you have to use Thinkific. Thinkific's amazing. And I find the same thing with Teachable. People who use Teachable are like, I love Teachable and I would recommend it every day of the week. Okay, there's a lot of yeah. So 1 billion courses, blah, 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 blah. So build it, show it, get paid for it. You know, this is a great little tool. It's not showing you any demonstrations. It's very benefits and testimonials on their homepage. So let's just quickly go to the features. Yeah, so damn you, Teachable, you're making me click through another window. I don't have the time. Okay, so you've got a dashboard. You can see who the users are. Sites would mean probably like landing pages and things like that. Sales, emails, and of course settings. So what do you want them to access and when and all the rest. And it's got courses and coaching. So you see Teachable, so great for that lovely little add-on to whatever service you're already doing as your core business concept. And the other one I said was it Teachery? I'll have to go back and check now. What did I say? Yeah, it was Teachery. Sorry about that. Sorry. Now I have lost the page. Here we go. Teachery. I'm conscious we're getting to the end of our time. So Teachery, another one. Honestly, there's Teachable, there's Teachery, and there's another one I think with the word teach in it. So nice and easy to remember which one you want to do. But again, this one is like, I am so simple. I do landing pages. You can add lessons. You can add modules. You know, you just, like I say, there's a lot of similar ones. But do a little test out. And don't forget, like I said, keep your stuff as a master copy so that you can build it out. So there's nothing to stop you making your videos, making your text content, making your activities as PDF downloads, very simple suite of materials, like instructional materials, and then upload them in a few different platforms and see which one you like, right? So spend half a day loading up a very simple course into Teachable and see what kind of functions and aesthetics it gives you. Do the same in Mastermind, do the same in Yes Course, and just go, right, which one am I really super happy to send my students and participants to? Now, do I usually advocate for duplicating your effort and literally doubling, like redoing stuff? Not usually, but I think if you're just doing a small tester, I think it's a good idea, because if you choose and this goes for any program you use in your business, if you choose a program that you're not 100% on board with, what happens is you never use all the functions, you don't know how to read the metrics, you don't really go in and frequently enough to update, refresh your content, or just input the content you need if it's a database or whatever. You tend to, your program tends to become a hinder more than a help. That's really what I'm saying. So in this respect, if this is going to be a big side hustle, you know, or core business for you to make courses, go and try a few different platforms literally and test out which one you think is going to support you and facilitate you the most in your business. Or, you know, try out a few and even before you test them out, come up with a bit of criteria. And I'm going to talk to you about that a little bit later, about how you actually choose. So sorry to flick through. So what is the best? So the best is like your all-in-one, full function. It's got everything you could ever need kind of thing. And based on what I'm looking at the programs and how the programs are progressing and evolving, I think I'm going to have to come back and adjust this list I've got. Want to get my online course accredited, can you recommend an RTO in WA? Good question, Louise. So even Business Station has just become an accredited RTO. So there's a couple, okay, so to become an RTO is a decent process. It's several $1,000s to do generally, because you need to have, like, people need to review everything you're doing, come and check your training environment, have a look at your assessments, make sure it's mapped to the accredited modules and like student outcomes and everything. So it's a decent process. If the step down from that is to become a third party provider. So a third party provider to an RTO is basically where you have a partnership agreement or a third party agreement with an RTO. So it's their materials, their branding, their course, their compliance team, very important, and you basically take that as a package and you deliver it, and you would sell people into your course to deliver it. That's generally how a third party arrangement works. There's not as many as there were before, because ASQA and that whole RTO environment legislation has really cracked down. Because I think even like last year I read another guy who, he had a third party agreement. The agreement stopped. He still delivered courses. He still gave out certificates, but under his own name. And I think he got fined about $250,000 for doing that. So they take it quite serious. And when you become a partner of an RTO, you have a lot of restrictions. So you generally have to have all your marketing filtered through the RTO. Their provider number RTO provider number has to go on everything. Their branding has to go on everything. You no longer can be like, hi, I'm, best RTO. How do you say, like, I'm no longer like Footspa courses.online. I don't issue the certificates. You basically have to say, we are Footspa course online, delivering courses for RTO XYZ. Hope that makes sense. Can I connect you with one in WA? I'm in Brisbane and I don't know as many in WA. I certainly could get you in contacts. I might ask about our RTO side and see if they want to have a chat. Really depends on what courses you're doing though. But just to answer that, you can go to training.gov.au, and what I do is I would put in the course code. So every code like BSB, 40112 or whatever the course code is of the RTO course you want to deliver. And then inside that page on training.gov.au for that course, there is a link towards the top of the page in the first section that says, find RTOs approved to deliver this. Look at that list and start making phone calls, basically, because you'll find a lot of them don't do third-party agreements, basically. So it's, and they can usually direct you and stuff. I hope that answers your question. This is where we go. Yep, best ones probably have some evergreen content, probably some live content. When you're choosing I'll go back and I got to replicate this slide. Podia, LearnWorld, and Kajabi. Let's check them out. Okay, so let's check out. I've got only a few minutes left. Podia, LearnWorld, and Kajabi. Let's check these out. So Podia, again, I don't want to click on their ad. Fell off my desk. So Podia, I know a few people who are using Podia. They're very happy with Podia. Webinars, community forums, online courses, all this sort of stuff. It's aesthetic. It's got the all-in-one, affiliate marketing, email marketing, website front face. So if you're literally setting this up as your business and you haven't done any of this stuff, I can't stress enough how much an all-in-one platform will save you a lot of trouble. Because if you don't use an all-in-one platform, that means that you have to choose an online course platform that integrates with all your other stuff. So if you can get an all-in-one, I absolutely recommend it. Sorry. So Podia is pretty good. Pricing wise, it's okay. So you're looking at about $40 a month. Most of these are usually US prices. So that's probably like $55 a month Australian. And then, getting up into functionalities, you're getting a bit more. So you've got to test them out, right? You've got to test them out and see what they offer. That's really it. LearnWorlds, again, I've been recommending a little bit more lately because I'm finding people love. It's got really quite a lot of functionality. It's easy to make in LearnWorlds. It's got the lovely hybrid thing going where you can do live or online or both. And you can, and it's got some all-in-one elements to sell. And templates. Templates is the beautiful golden word you want in any platform you take on these days, especially in marketing, all these kinds of things. Does it have a template? All right, because that'll save you half your build time, or probably more actually. Okay, you can upsell, you can integrate into other things, right? And it's very cost effective. So what was the pricing? I think it's very, very low for LearnWorlds. So again, yeah, you're looking at about $30, $35 a month as a starter. You've got quite a lot of, secure coupons, community, unlimited courses, all the rest. All right, Kajabi, the lovely Kajabi. Now, I said this before, and I'll say it again. The reason I'm not, like, Kajabi's not top of my list is because I find most people who use Kajabi come seeking help to use Kajabi. And I just feel like it shouldn't be that hard. But it is a very nice platform that makes very nice courses with very functionality, right? So it would have everything you need, but it is a little bit more expensive. So if you're thinking about using Kajabi, I cannot stress enough to do the trial first and see what you think. Like put aside a day to really dig into the trial and see if it suits you, and go from there. Just going to see where we're up to. So I want to invite you guys for questions now, because we really need to have a look at how we choose this. And this is where I selected the right page, and now I'm still going through. So when you're choosing, right, so we've got an idea of like comparing. So you can compare features. You can compare it according to, like, you know, what do you need from it? So you can't just compare the features on their own and go, well, this one has everything, therefore that's what I'm going to get. While there is some longevity in that decision to get something that can do everything you want ever, it does beg the question of if you're going to use all that stuff and if you're paying extra for that stuff. So if you already have your whole business set up, there's no reason to do an all-in-one kind of marketing platform unless you really want it to have its own life and marketing system separate to the rest of your business. So where do you want to get found? If you want to have your course as a side hustle and you want it to be found in a bunch of different places, I would suggest making it a simple course and having it up on a lot of those marketplaces that you can access, like Skillshare and Udemy and Mastermind and all the rest. How much do you want to charge? Now, this is, you know, we go into a little bit of this in the plan and build one, but very, very basically, very, very basics is, you know, the more detailed the content, you can up your price a little bit. The longer the content, not longer per session, but say, you know, like a 1 module 6 lesson course is, you're going to charge a lot less for that than a 10 module 6 lesson course, like 6 lessons per module, and there's 10 modules. So you've basically gone from 6 lessons to 60 lessons, right? So of course you're going to charge more for that. Where your fee is really going to come into its own is looking at value-based pricing model and going for what people get out of this and the transformation that takes place from my course. And we're not going to talk about what content you're creating in your course today. That's the other workshop. But if people, the bigger the benefit and the bigger the value people get out of it, the more you can charge. And it doesn't necessarily mean making your lessons longer or your learning more complicated. It really means about matching the speed of what you want to offer compared to what they want to consume. Okay, how many courses do I want to make? So if you're going to make 1 or 2 or 1, I would make use of a free course builder. Okay, if you're making online courses a big part of your business like I am, then I want a platform that I have full control over, and I can have as many courses as I like, and I can charge what I like, and I probably am going to keep it off a marketplace because I don't want to spend 8 weeks teaching something for $200. I want to spend 8 weeks decent transformational teaching people for $2,000, right? So where you sell it will have an effect on how much you charge as well. But also how many courses will affect where you build it as well, right? So if you're doing 1 course, you're not going to spend $1,400 a month on a course builder. There's no point. How will you take payment? Very, very big question. Your course builder, hopefully, your platform will take payment. But if you're building it at the back end of your website as a membership portal, then of course you have to basically list it on your website as a product to buy in whatever e-commerce or shopping cart plugin or portal you've got. So you can literally just get people to buy it as a product, and it goes through your normal product purchase process. And then you would set up some automation to issue them with the instructions on how to access everything. Do you want to do assessments, and do you need an all-in-one marketing platform? So ask yourself the questions, which then corresponds to what is the criteria you need to make an absolute choice on your builder. So if you are very analytical, you're going to love making a spreadsheet, putting each course builder you're thinking at the top, putting your criteria down the left and giving them a rating, or even just a tick, like, does it even have a payment gateway? 0, no, it doesn't. So if you need to do a matrix to step it out and analyze, and you're comfortable doing that, I would highly recommend doing that. So you make an absolute logical choice and give it some weighted score on, you know what, if aesthetics is the number 1 thing and a payment gateway is the number 2 thing, then you would, make sure you choose one with that. That's all I'm saying. Also, do you want people to self-manage their bookings and it's all like automated, or whether you need it to come through you? And another reason it might come through you is just to get to know that client, gets better motivation, better engagement, and better upsells. So what have we gone through today? So we've gone through how you choose, how to choose a platform based on the complexity of your course, like assessments and quizzes and things, figuring out whether you need an all-in-one solution to include all that marketing and transactions and lead pages and all the rest that go around it. Have a look at the cost per month of the program. So if it's free because you're only doing 1 course, that's great value, of course. If it's, if you're paying $200, but you're going to build out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in that costing, then that's also probably, very, very cost efficient. Make sure your course builder presents the right image for your business. So aesthetics count, yes course, fabulous, Systemi, fabulous. But if it's not giving the right impression that matches your branding, if you've got premium branding, then it needs to have a lot more of that kind of website aesthetic functionality in every page you build. And remember to keep it backup copies of everything you create before you throw it into a platform. The only exception was that was when I mentioned Mastermind.com, that allows you to record video and content directly into it, and you would usually do that for very low risk content. So something you probably teach over and over, and it's short, and you don't mind if it disappears and you have to redo it. All right, that's it for me today. I'm going to invite you that if you have any questions, please, I'd love to go through that. I believe I may not have been sharing in the last bit when I went through my last slides. Was I not? Maybe not. So I was just going through, some questions and criteria, and then I went through a bit of a summary. So I'm sorry if I wasn't sharing in the last bit. So we have a question of what I'm using. So what am I using? All right, so I have LearnDash. I have a website. I have a WordPress website currently that I'm actually getting away from WordPress now, partly because I find it just too high maintenance, really. And even then, WordPress is pretty low maintenance. But so the recent bane in my existence is that my theme updated and it locked my homepage. So I went to change my call to action on my homepage, and it's like it doesn't exist. It's showing live, but I can't edit it. And I could go through the painstaking process of taking it out, redoing it, going through the backup, whatever. But I'm like, you know what? For all the fiddling that I do to create the look of the WordPress, there's a lot better DIY system. So like I said, I'm rebuilding in Systemi. I'm trying out Systemi at the $27 level. So I'm currently rebuilding my website. I'm also building landing pages, funnels for the upcoming W Profits course, which will run next term. So I'm just basically trying my processes through Systemi at the moment. I'm also trying out, I'm about to throw something up into Mastermind as a bit of a test. I probably will replicate, I'll probably choose 1 course. So at the moment, I have some content sitting there called Dream It, Plan It, Do It, which used to be a 1-day live workshop. And I doing this, people heard me talk about this earlier, that it triggered me something. I was doing a video ad and I went, oh, actually, I've got that content sitting there. I haven't run the live course in ages. I should probably throw it up as an onliner. So an all-day course, which is really six hours of learning activities. It depends on how much I stretch that out, but that could be a few weeks, like maybe a month for people doing it, maybe an hour a day. I've got it there. I'm not using it, so I'm probably going to use that as my guinea pig to throw up into like Thinkific and a few different platforms and see how they compare for attracting attention, completions, all that sort of stuff. But again, asking me which platforms I use is irrelevant unless you're doing a similar type of course. Really, that's really where it's at. Any other questions for today? Because I've gone a little bit over time. I'm sorry. I did say I would try not to, and there I have. I've done it again. All right. I think we've probably reached the end. Like I said, this is part of Digital Solutions program. Great, $44 program. You can go to businessstation.link/Rhonwyn if you want to have some one-on-one. Make sure I've got that right. businessstation.link/Rhonwyn if you want to have some one-to-one time with me where we go through what you're building and how you're building it. I don't mind. 3 one-to-one sessions for $44. Honestly, as a commercial private provider that does this stuff privately, I can't compete with that, which is one of the reasons I do it through the program, because it's just an amazing program. All right, doesn't look like we've got any other questions or comments. I'm going to finish the session there. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me today. I really value you putting aside the time to come and visit me and talk about this today. Again, any questions, Rhonwyn@businessstation.com.au. And of course, all of you, whether you came on today or not, will get a link to the recording so you can watch it back another time and maybe check out some of those links and platforms and everything. Thank you so much, guys. Have a wonderful Wednesday, and hopefully I'll see you on another one in the next few weeks. Take care.